Welcome back, everybody. It's been a little while since I've had an episode, and I'd like to say I have a good excuse, but I don't. Things kind of got down to the wire for me. I had actually filmed a full episode on making custom hard brake lines for my Civic, but unfortunately all that data got deleted by mistake. So no episode for that. Basically all I did was I did the hard brake lines in the car. I ended up getting my wheels and tires. I'll have an episode coming up shortly on those and kind of a couple things I went through to get them fit to the car. It is an aggressive fitment on the car, so worthwhile checking out. What I'm going to do tonight though is I got my first time attack session done yesterday, and I got the car home, drove it home under its own power, no issues. So what I'm going to do tonight is just do a quick once over on the car and make sure that it's good to go for next time. Always good to do a post track day once over on the car to make sure you don't have any issues with brakes or suspension components, things loosening off, all sorts of stuff like that. So let's get to it. I'll show you what I do. I'm actually at my parents' place with the hoist today doing this. It gives me a little bit more room, but you can do this anywhere with a jack stand and a jack. So definitely highly recommend doing this after track day or any kind of track experience. So let's go ahead and go through and I'll show you what I do. So the first obvious thing is you want to go over the outside of the car, make sure that nothing is out of place. Got some mud down here. I did have an off-track experience through the grass and some mud. That's also on the tires. These are the new wheels that I'll show you guys later when they're clean. And everything else looks like it's there. There's lots of dirt and mud and track stuff on it. So go through and check it. Everything looks okay out here, so I'll go underneath. Okay, so first thing I like to check when I get the car up in the air is I check my tire wear. This is a good indicator of how your tires are performing on track. So you want to look for nice even wear across the contact patch. Specifically on these Civics and earlier double wishbone front suspension Hondas, they get quite a bit of shoulder wear on the outside of the tire, and that's due to the limited amount of caster that these things have factory. So on my car I've got the new PCI spherical arms, and they've got caster adjustment misalignment spacers, and they seem to have really done the job. This is the tire that wears really hard at my local track, and usually this would already be worn down. You wouldn't see any of this here anymore. It'd be all gone after a track day, but it's still there, and it's pretty much even with the other side. So that's telling me that I've got the right amount of camber in the car. The car drives well. It's got good turn in, so my toe is probably within spec. I have about 2 mil total toe out in the front of the car to get it to turn in. And 3 degrees of camber, and the caster calculated out to about 4.2 degrees of caster. These cars usually have 0.2, 0.3 degrees of caster, so not very much at all. From there, we want to just check over everything, make sure everything's in one piece. Check the rad. Obviously, I got a lot of mud in there that I got to clean out. Oil cooler, it's all good. Move our way back. Oil pan is good. Looking for leaks, anything loose. Don't see any leaks, no coolant, no oil anywhere, which is great. Come back, look at the suspension, back side of the brake. Want to make sure that you don't see any cracks back here in any of the rotors. That'll usually develop once they cool off, so no cracks. Everything looks good here. Nothing looking bent or missing or out of place, which is good. Exhaust is all there. CV boots are good. I used to have an issue with CV boots spraying grease out all the time, and I finally got them fixed, so that's good. Nice and clean now. Check this rotor as well. Yeah, it's good. Brake lines are all good. This is one thing that's worth checking, especially when you have a big fitment on your car. check your brake lines. Make sure they're not rubbing anywhere and you don't have any wear on them at all. And these ones are good. Check this one too. Yeah, that one's good. So I'll move further back here. Get our toe arms. Make sure that all these are still in place and cotter pins in. Nuts tight. No bends, especially after the off that I had. So over here. No bends here in the tie rod end. This is tight. These are all here, so that's good. No fluids, no bearing grease coming out of anything, which is good. No oil leaks on the back of the motor anywhere. No transmission leaks. And then we just work our way down the vehicle, looking at all our exhaust hangers. Big clump of grass there that I gotta clean off from the off track. And more mud and dirt back here, but all good. Check tire wear on the rear tires. They're good as well. I could probably use a little bit more camber in the back. I got more wear out here than I do here. This is hardly touched, so I'll probably add another degree of camber. I only have 1 degree of camber in the back of the car right now. So yeah, need a little bit more camber in the back. Everything else looks good. Exhaust is still in place. Bumper is still in place. Oh, here we go. Lost an exhaust hanger, so I'll have to fix that. Yeah. Oh yeah. That needs to be fixed. So I'll hook that back up. That's easy enough. And for any brake line leaks, fluid leaks, anything like that. No cracks in the rear rotors. Check those already. That's good. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a torque check on all the suspension nuts and bolts under here. So go through and do that. I've already checked all my paint marks. They're all still lined up. So just want to make sure nothing is stretched or loosened off. Another loose one. Another loose one. Okay, last but not least, check under the hood of the car. So I make sure that nothing is loose or chafing, rubbing anywhere. The belt's still in good shape. Nothing's come loose. Rear's still in place. Everything's still plugged in and looking good. Filter, check all that. Well, these have loosened up. Brake fluid is still clear and full. Don't have any big leaks anywhere. We would have seen that down below too, but just check through everything. Make sure it's all good. Yeah, looks good. A couple other things I'm going to do before my next track event is I'll change my oil, put new oil in before each event. In my case, I run Redline 1040 full synthetic race oil. I'm going to drain and fill the transmission as well. It's got 5 events on the fluid in it now. So I'm going to drain that. I run Motul 75-140 mixed with 1030 motor oil. It's recommended by M Factory, so I'm gonna run that and yeah, see what the fluid looks like when it comes out. Make sure I don't have any big metal contaminants or anything like that in it that would make me believe I have an issue. And that will be about it. I do have some modifications I want to do between now and the next event, and I'll go into those in a future episode. So hope you enjoyed the episode. Just a quick one for you. Just wanted to go over good practice for post-track days. All right, have a good night. Bye, everyone.